Okay. Now we can do it, see, because it's running.
Huh?
I said it's running, and so now I'll just talk to you, and you can just,
Yeah.
see what you think. Okay. Now, now your birthday was when?
16th of July.
1900.
1900, that's right.
Okay. What's the, do you remember anything as a little girl before you were married?
Oh yeah, I remember a lot of things.
What was, both your parents were living when you were a child,
Yeah.
right? And what'd your father do?
My father was a farmer.
Okay. And where did you live as a child?
Well, I was born in Ellis County in a little place called Gimlet. Gimlet, yeah. But I left there when I was just a baby. I was, I think about 3 months old. And my daddy bought a farm, 115 acres, and it was mostly in timber. And they cut the logs and built a barn and cultivated the land. And that's, I lived there till I was 15 years old in that house where we moved to when I was 3 months old. I was 15 years old, the 16th of July, and I was married in June before my birthday. I left from June till the 16th of July, being 15, when we got married. And then in 1916, Ronnie come along. she was born, and we stayed in the house with his brother-in-law the first summer, and they raised a sharecrop together. And in the fall, Charlie moved to Idaho, Blackfoot, Idaho, and we finished taking care of the farm that year, the crop. And then let's see, yeah, that fall, we traded the cow and calf and mule, I believe it was, span of mules to a little shack of a house in the holler, and we lived there for 8 years, I guess.
How'd you meet Grandpa in the first place? Was he, did his family live close by? Or?
No, his family, he stayed with his sister, but he had lived with his daddy, and his mother was dead, and his daddy had married again, and he just stayed here in yonder part, first one place and then another till he grew up. And then they moved to Alcorn in Fleming, or not, in Greenup County. And his stepmother died there. And then they broke up housekeeping, and he moved back to Carter County to his sister's, and he lived with his sister when me and him was married. He was living with his sister.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to school back before you got married?
Yeah, I went to school at the old Hale Schoolhouse.
Did they have it divided into grades? Did they have it divided into grades?
Yeah, primer and first reader and all that. Mm-hmm. And I went to the 6th grade. That is all the highest grade there was in the primary school.
Mm-hmm. You went, did Papa had gone into, or had sharecropped that first crop, okay?
Yeah.
And then did you go on and, or did he go on and continue to do that for a while? Or?
No, we bought a little place, as I told you.
Mm-hmm.
We traded for a little place that fall after he sharecropped with his brother-in-law the first year. He was already sharecropping with him. And we finished that crop, and then we bought this little place, and we had our own home and land, and we tended it, was there, I guess, 8 years. And then he bought another little farm with, I believe it was 75 acres. And we stayed there then until Ernest was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to Clark Hill. And after we moved to Clark Hill, we lived there. I don't know how long we did live on Clark Hill. I don't remember.
Grandpa was a young man when World War I broke out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was there ever any chance that he was going to go off and fight?
No, he had a crooked leg.
Oh, okay.
A horse fell with him and bent his leg. It didn't break his leg, but it bent. But his leg was crooked, and he couldn't stand to walk no big lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's all kept him out of the army. He was he had to register, you know, and through and was examined, but they turned him down on account of that crooked leg.
When back then, were folks pretty worried about the war when it was going on? I mean, did they ever think that we might lose, or was there any feeling like that?
We never thought too much about it. I never. I know there was into war, but we didn't get much news about the war, you know, like we do today. Now, if it was back then, if it had been like it is today, we'd have been worried to death and scared to death again. But back then, we didn't have any way of finding out anything about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The newspapers give a little sketch here and there, but that is all the news we got.
You said earlier that it was in the 30s when you first got a radio. I guess in your own, but you probably had heard radios before then.
Yeah.
Back then, when you needed the doctor or something, you just had to send somebody to get them, right?
Yeah, that's right. We lived 10 miles out in the country, so we had a hard way of getting a doctor.
Did you remember when you first saw a telephone, or when they first started putting telephones in, or when you first had?
We didn't have no telephone till we moved to Olive Hill. We didn't even have electric.
Mm.
We had coal lights, or kerosene lights, they call it. And we done our washing on the board, scrubbing them on the board.
What was it like a typical day? What would the kind of chores that had to be done back then when
The cattle, we had to feed the cattle and milk and feed the hogs and chickens and whatever we had to feed.
Yeah, but I mean, like for you, did you have to get up really early in the morning and fix breakfast while they went out and did the chores? And did you have a wood stove? Or?
Yeah, I had wood stove.
And did they, for example, throughout the day, like, did you have a routine where did you wash every day, or?
No, I just washed once a week. Sometimes we washed twice a week, but we carried water a long ways. When we had to do our washing, we carried water.
Did you have an open well, or did you have a pump?
Yeah, we just had an open well.
What about, did you ever get to go to town very often, or?
No, we went to town, but I never went to town once a month. But of course, J.C. went and got groceries, and then we used to have sold stuff off in the farm, you know, groceries. I mean, vegetables of all kinds, and we sold chickens and eggs and whatever we could scrap up.
Okay, and you pretty much tended the garden, right?
Yeah, well, I tended a big garden and had beans and potatoes and all kinds of vegetables to sell. And we said we'd haul them to town and sold them. What we didn't, the surplus that we didn't have to use for ourselves. And we put up all kinds of fruit for our own use.
How about the kids? Like, when they were little, were they all different? I mean, did they all? Which one was the feisty one that always got in trouble, and which ones were the ones that seemed to to get along with everything?
Well, they didn't do very much fighting or on either. Ronnie and Tommy, they was the two oldest ones, but they got along good. And Arlen, he got big enough to work, and him and Tommy worked together, and they never fussed and quarreled around about what they was to do. They knew what they was to do, and they went ahead and done it.
Typical of kids back then. What about the Depression? Did it have much of an effect on you and Grandpa and the family?
Well, not too bad on us. The Depression was, I guess, in the early 30s.
Mm-hmm. The stock market crashed in 1929. Yeah.
It didn't hurt us too bad because we had put up stuff to live on. We put up all kinds of fruit, and we raised vegetables, and we could bury cabbage and turnips and apples and all stuff like that. And we didn't suffer for nothing to eat. We didn't have much money to buy clothes. We just had to wear whatever we could get. But in the long run, we was better off than the biggest majority of the people, because there's a lot of people that didn't try to do very much. When they could have a chance, they didn't do much, and didn't fare too well in the Depression either.
Mm-hmm. Politics wasn't a big thing back then around the farms and stuff. I mean, you didn't hear too much from the politicians, did you? And they kind of.
No, we didn't know. The first airplane that I seen, I was back in the cornfield hoeing corn, and I'd sit down to rest on on the slab, and I kept hearing a funny noise. And finally I heard this, it was overhead, and I looked up, and there's an airplane in the air, and it just looked like a bird, about the size of a bird.
Mm-hmm. But
it kept getting closer and closer to me, you know. And finally I realized what it was, but I thought it was a bird to start with.
You remember about when that was? Was that in the 20s or?
Yeah, that was in the 20s.
Mm-hmm. What about during the time? Do you remember when you got your first car, or when Papa got his first truck?
He got his first truck in '36.
Mm-hmm. And now, for the most part, Grandpa was kind of a horse trader, didn't he? He'd go around trading cattle. Is that how he made it?
Yeah, he traded horses, and he worked at the clay mines some. But he traded horses for several years, and he'd take out an old horse and trade it for a better horse and a little bit of money. He was good at trading horses. And then he finally quit trading horses and went to buying cattle, dealing in cattle, and he was a pretty good cattle buyer too.
When did you get the farm in Flemingsburg?
I'd have to study a long time before I could tell you that, Ronnie.
Well, do you remember, I was going to say, you lived there for quite a while. Quite a few years, because that's the only place I ever remember going to when I was little.
Yeah, we lived in Flemingsburg about 20 years, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dad, was Dad living there when he finally left home? Or did he leave home when you were still at Olive Hill? Or?
He left home while we lived at Olive Hill. He went to Indiana, and he was supposed to come back and go to high school. He finished grade school, and he said if I'd let him go and work through the summer, he'd come back when school started and go to high school. But he didn't come back, and he stayed up there, and first thing I knew, he joined the Army and was gone.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dad went into the Army about 47, I think, or 48, somewhere in there. Back before World War II started, when it first started up, did any of the kids serve in World War II? Were they in service?
Arlen did, didn't he?
Arlen was Arlen. He was in the Navy, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was in the Navy.
And the rest of them were still going to school back then, wasn't they?
Yeah. Well, Tommy, they examined Tommy for the Army too. But Tommy they said he had a spot on his lung, and they wouldn't take him on account of that. But if he had a spot on his lung, it never did bother him.
Yeah. And then, you see, Dad was what, 15 or so when
He wasn't 15 when he left home.
I guess he was maybe 14 or so.
I don't think he was 15. Best I remember, he wasn't. My memory's got pretty bad.
So he went off to the Army. Aunt Gladys was the last one to leave home, wasn't she?
Yeah.
You remember when that was?
Let's see. It was about 45, I guess.
Now she lived. Now you lived. She was living at Flemingburg, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And because I remember seeing her bedroom there.
Yeah, she stayed at home. She married. Is in 43 when we moved to Emmitsburg.
Back then, during the war, by that time, I guess, since Grandpa had a truck.
Yeah, we lived at Olive Hill when Clark Hill when Arlen left for the Army. I remember.
Did they ration gasoline and stuff? Was it hard to get fuel when you were living on during World War II?
Hard to get gasoline. I don't know. I don't reckon it was.
Stuff like that. I know that.
Oh yeah, Jesse was driving the truck. He drove the truck and he got all the gas he needed. He didn't have no trouble getting gas. I don't remember.
What do you think about all the things that's happened to you since you came on this earth? Or is there anything that you would have changed if you had a chance to about your own life growing up?
No, I don't think so. I fared all right.
You fared okay.
I had to work, but everybody else did too, you know.
Well, hard work was a virtue back then. How did your leg get messed up originally?
My leg? Porch swing fell with me at Olive Hill when we lived on Clark Hill there at Olive Hill. Porch swing fell and bruised the side of my leg. Boy, I've got a bad leg yet, and I always will have. But you know the reason I think that my leg never did heal like it should? We had a floor furnace in that old house down there at Clemensburg, and when I was stripped tobacco and be out and my feet would get real cold, and I'd go in there, stand on that furnace and get my feet warm, and sometimes they'd get pretty warm, not hot enough to murmur or anything, but they got warmer than it was really necessary. And both legs has been giving me trouble. This leg here, it gives me more trouble than that one that I got hurt. But I think standing on that furnace was the cause of my legs both being the way they are, because I know another woman that had done the same thing, and they had to take both of her legs off but her knees. And you know, Barbara and Arlen lived out there in Indiana, and they had a floor furnace, and she's had trouble with her legs. Her legs swelled up and turned green, and the awfulest looking sight you ever seen. And she got they took her to a doctor, and I think she's in the hospital. And that's the reason I think that's what's caused all the trouble in my legs. Because that's the only reason that I could figure that ever it happened to my legs was standing on that floor furnace.
Well, let me see. You had 10 children, right?
Yeah.
And 8 of them grew up. 2 of them died real young,
yeah.
Right? One at birth and one at about 6 months.
One was, Clarence was 6 months old when he died, and the other one was born dead. Stillborn, they call it.
And let's see, all of them. Well, Aunt Vernie was the first one of the kids
Yeah.
that passed away.
Yeah.
She was what, 40?
She's 40. She was 46 when she passed away.
And the
Let's
rest.
see. She passed away in 66. I'd have to figure out, well, I know exactly what.
And she was born in
Born
1916.
1916.
So that would make her 40. That would make her almost 50.
She's 49 and she's
Yeah.
46. She died in 66.
What about, back when you were a young married woman and Grandpa, what did you do for entertainment? I mean, I know that you put in a hard day of working and stuff, but what did you do?
There wasn't no such thing as entertainment for people on the farm.
Did you ever did you like to read or did you?
Yeah, I like to read. In fact, I read everything I can get. I've always loved to read. And we took a newspaper and I read it. But as far as entertainment, that is about the only thing we've done. And we went to church on Sunday. Just about every Sunday we went to church.
Did they ever have church picnics or church socials that you got to go
Not
to?
the church we went to. They didn't believe in that kind of stuff.
Did they, back in those days, did they still, if your neighbor had a problem, did you go over, like if the barn burnt down and help him have a barn raising?
Yeah, we had a barn raising once, and a quilting, and the women quilted and the men worked at the barn raising, and we fixed a big dinner. I can remember that pretty well.
Those were pretty big affairs. The neighbors, large group of people would get together.
Yeah, people look forward to something like that now, and that's just about all there was going on. The women would have quiltings, and if they had any barns or anything like that, the men would work, and sometimes they'd have log rolls, and cut down logs and haul them out to make lumber.
Mm-hmm. What about, you learned to can and you can quilt.
Yeah.
And did you do a lot of that when you were young? I mean, or...
I didn't. My mother did. My mother, she pieced quilts and sold them all the time. She was good at that. But she always needed the money for them, and she didn't let us kids piece and learn. I learned what I knowed after I was married.
Mm-hmm. How many kids was there in your
12.
in your family?
There's 12.
And your maiden name was King, right?
Yeah.
How old was your father when he died?
He's 93 years old.
And he lost a leg, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember how that happened, or did that happen before you came along?
No, he had a young horse that wasn't broke very good, and he put him in a wagon with the side of another horse. And this young horse had never been worked any, got scared at something other and run away with him and turned the wagon over and broke his leg. But they wouldn't have had took his leg off if they had the right kind of doctor like they've got now. He wouldn't have had his leg took off.
Mm.
But they thought his leg was about set up gangrene, and they cut it off.
Before they actually tried to,
It wasn't necessary at all.
Well, did a lot of things like that happen in those days? I mean, when you got hurt now, was the medical help, was it good, or was it a country doctor?
It was a pretty poor side of what we have today.
So it was quite a while before you really got something modern. You didn't have a radio until the mid-30s, electricity you didn't get until when?
We didn't have electricity either till 36. We moved off hill, and we had the house wired after we went there. They had lights, I mean kerosene lights too. For the house we bought, they used kerosene lights, but we had the house wired because electric wasn't too far from the house where we could get the electric put in, you know. And we had the house wired, and we got a washing machine and got life a little bit easier.
Is that there? Is that the house where they put in the septic pipe and they had to blow up the road, or?
Yeah, that's where we built that, and we put it was just a 4-room house, and we added 2 rooms to it, and they just had outside toilet, and they put blowed up the road and put a pipe from the house down over the hill.
The bad spot over the hill.
Then then we put in a bathroom, but still had to have pipes, you know.
Did you put in did you have an inside pump for water, or did you have running water? Or
we finally did, yeah.
Yeah.
We had to have running water when we put in the bathroom.
So that was the big thing.
We just added a little gradually as we could, you know.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this off, so if we get the rest of them in here later, why, I can put them all on here with you. But thank you for letting me copy this much, and I love you very much.
Well, I love you too, Ronnie.
Here, and I'm going to ask you some questions, you know, about when you was young and that. But first I want to ask you, you know, your birthday's coming up tomorrow, and how old are you going to be? You're going to be
89.
89, right. And Jennifer and Randy would be your 2 great-grandchildren. Do you know how many great-grandchildren you have now? You got a guess?
About 20.
Pretty close, pretty close. And you've got at least 1 great-grandbaby, and that's Trinda's little boy. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, because I think is it Debbie and Myra? Don't they have babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie's got 3. Oh, Debbie's got 2, and Myra's got 2.
Yeah.
And Randy's got 2.
Well, Grandma, what do you think has made you live so long? Is it right thinking or right eating?
Right eating, I guess. Maybe right thinking too.
Combination.
Yeah.
Well, if you had any kind of advice that you wanted to pass on to your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren, what would it be?
Is what?
If you had any kind of advice that you wanted to give your grandkids or your great-grandkids on how to live or take care of things, what would it be?
To not lie about nothing, and be kind to everybody, and do your work right.
That's right.
Whatever you're supposed to do the best you can.
That's real good.
So that's about it, I guess.
Okay. What's your favorite color? What color do you like?
I believe red.
Red's your favorite color?
Yeah.
And what's your favorite flower?
I read violets too.
And what's your favorite hymn?
Him?
Mm-hmm.
I have to study a little on that.
Yeah, I think didn't Grandpa wasn't Amazing Grace his favorite?
Yeah,
Yeah, you know that's my favorite too.
that's my favorite too. Come think of it, I think.
I really like that. Now, when I made this tape a few years ago, it's been about 4 years since I made it. And I asked you about how it was when you were a little girl and that sort of thing. Of all the places that you got to live, you know, that you and Grandpa had a house, where was your favorite? You remember which house you liked the best?
That's Swinsburg, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I like that old house. The only thing that I couldn't get used to was the tin roof, because when it would rain, I'd listen to it. It made a lot of noise.
Yeah. It should have had somebody to come to the roof.
Yeah, it was really nice. The kids, you got anything you want to ask your grandma? You know, this is your golden opportunity.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you ever wanted to know about when she was a little girl or growing up? Or what it was like back then? When you were a little girl, there was hardly any cars on the road, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't any.
You know,
I never seen a car till I was 30 years old, I guess.
And when you and Grandpa got married, you rode in the top of a wagon, didn't you?
Well, we went to church and Buddy. And
Yeah, what was Grandpa like?
well, he's just an ordinary man. He don't know if he had any special traits or anything. He's a good trader.
He's a good trader. He used to buy things from one guy and sell it to somebody else. And
He traded horses and mostly.
yeah,
Then he got to buying cattle.
yeah. And you said he owned how many Chevy trucks in his lifetime?
He bought 9 new Chevrolet trucks.
And he drove them till he wore them out, didn't he?
He had warm, so they had to go to paying out to have them repaired, and then he'd trade them in and get another.
Yeah.
He never let it go completely bad on his hands. He always got shut of them when they began to give him trouble. He'd get shut of them and get him in.
Now he never really, until you moved to Flemingsburg, he never really did a lot of farming, did he?
No.
I mean, you always had a big garden, but you.
Yeah. I done more of a farm than he did.
That's right. But what kind of you like just about any kind of vegetable, don't you?
Yeah.
Fruit.
I like all kinds of fruit, and I like most of the vegetables. There's a few that I didn't care about.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this, and before I do, I want to wish you a happy birthday. And we're awful lucky to have you around.
Thank you.
Come over here and we'll sing a song to her.
Okay. Hey. Yeah. Smile. You can wave. Okay. Okay, Randy, you can step out and Jennifer step in next to her. And you can do anything you like. Okay. Okay, Randy, you can go back in and you can just join her on the other side.
Good.
Okay. Hey, Bev. Can you come here a minute?
I'll stay in the back. Everybody can stay in the front.
No, you stay where you are. You're fine. Okay. Okay, now you two step out and I'm gonna step in. My grandma.
Bye.
I love you. Is it in there?
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Okay. Now, Bev, come here. I need you quick.
I'll be there in a second.
Well, I'm running.
Well, that must be that I got to get the.
Now, I want you to stand over here.
Stand over here.
Over here, close. No,
Right here?
right there.
Right here.
There you go.
Oh.
Is she in too, Randy?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, now the two of you bop in, and you're gonna have to go down on your knees in front, but I want you to just drop
Let me
down
see if
on
I
your
can see.
knees. Turn around. Okay, you see her?
No, just the top of her head.
Just the top of her head.
Her
Okay.
hair.
Tilt the camera down just a little bit. Okay, have you got her? And Grandma too? Here, I'll get it.
How do you do this thing?
Here,
doesn't come out?
you join her right there,
We'll get it.
and we'll get it real quick. But I want to get. Okay. Okay, now Randy, I want you to join next to Jennifer. You drop down on your knee tops. Scoot in close.
You can get close to her.
Get closer to her, Randy. I need you to. That's good. That's good. Right like that. Okay. Now. That's perfect.
And then there's Ronnie.
Now we can wave. Hello, everybody. Everybody that sees this, hello. This is my grandma. Of course, she could be your great grandma if you like, but she's my grandma.
Yeah, that might be
Okay. That's good. Now I can stop this.
18.
She's better mannered than that.
Did you tell them what they did at Bible school?
Oh, he is.
She taking our pictures, nice. She taking our pictures, nice to be on face. Oh, you got you some soup beans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I take after Grandpa. Yeah.
Brittany had her some soup beans for dinner. Yeah.
Okay. And me taking your picture again. Hi, Minnie Pooh.
The least you could do is not get me eating with her.
Minnie Pooh's got her some soup beans. She loves soup beans.
Mama's having cornbread and milk.
We used to have that all the time when we was kids.
She eats that every night. She don't even have it at night. So whatever we cook for dinner, we just usually eat it for supper too, you know.
Uh-huh.
She eats milk and cornbread.
That's good for you, ain't it, Grandma? I said, that's good for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I eat milk and cornbread last night, but it was buttermilk. I love buttermilk and cornbread.
I eat bread, cornbread and milk. When you're every night, you're sick nuts.
Well, evidently it's, you know, healthy for you.
You don't have indigestion at night or nothing, do you? You don't have indigestion at night, do you? Well, it evidently it's good for you then.
Oh, and I was just telling you, if you did, you could just come on in. Eat.
Yeah.
You got to eat.
I don't think we are.
Well, if you happen to. you
We
gotta
never
eat.
know what we're going to do till the
There
last
won't be
minute.
nobody here till Saturday
We'll be
evening or
back.
Saturday night.
We'll be back Saturday evening probably.
Well, I got a key. If I can't find my key, I always can break a window.
I guess. Wouldn't be too hard to break in, would it?
Huh?
Wouldn't be too hard to break in this house.
I figure after all the years I can figure some way to get in.
And then again, it'd be a little harder than you might think. The burglar alarm will often places get you.
Uh-huh. What burglar alarm? The stuff.
Burglar alarm right there on that door.
Oh, that one.
You want to hear the burglar alarm?
I know, I've already heard it. I'm the one that gave it to you. Where do you think you got that burglar alarm? Where do you suppose you got those?
I don't know where I got it.
We give them to you.
You did?
Yep.
I don't know.
We had them at Spring Valley.
Trying to scare us all to death, Grandpa?
Hmm?
Trying to scare us all to death?
Hi, Hootie Bear.
Did I shoot who today?
Grandma, did you say you'd be 90 or 91?
I'll be 91, my birthday.
Well, then you weren't born in 1900? You weren't born in 1900?
No, I thought it was, but my dad told me I wasn't a long time ago. He said I was a year older than I claimed to be.
Uh-huh.
Well, I just gone to the school record. I wasn't in school,
Uh-huh.
and I guess I was wrong.
So-
But my cousin has got the old family Bible, and my birth date is in it. So that's what I'm going by now.
Oh, so all these years we thought you were born in 1900. You were born in 1899?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. So you're going to be 91 instead of 90, right?
You know that she could very well to live to see 3 centuries.
Oh, yes. Sure.
18th century, 19th century, and the 20th century. Or the 19th, 20th,
19th, 20th, and 21st. You plan on it, don't you, Grandma?
Huh?
You plan on being around another 9 and 10 years, don't you?
Well, I could, but I might like it.
Well, they the woman the other day, I think it was I believe she was 114 years old, and she was, looked pretty darn good. Cornbread, milk, and red pop.
Red pop. Oh, yeah, Grandma has to have her red pop, don't you, Grandma?
Our bishop was the first cousin to me, and he took mine all over the place down there.
Yeah.
They really had a trip. They went all over the cemetery, and he showed her wherever one of them was buried. The old King family.
Well, there's a lot of them people that probably are close relatives of yours and all that I never heard of, you know.
That's right.
But when I left home, you know, I was pretty young and I never thought anything about that.
There's probably some there in that cemetery that's supposed to get to me down every year now.
Could be.
It's a big family.
Now, are you talking about the one on Garvin Ridge or the one back in Lewis County?
I'm talking about the one on Everman's Creek in Carter County. That's the one that all my folks are buried in, except my immediate family.
Everett's Creek.
Everman's,
Everman's Creek?
that's right.
I never heard of it.
Well, you're there, you might not remember it.
If I did, I don't remember.
That's where my daddy's family was buried, on Everman's Creek. And
Well, is that where Grandpa King's buried?
No, it ain't where your grandpa was buried. My grandpa was buried there.
Oh, okay.
Dad's great-grandfather then, right?
Yeah. But that is in Carter County, but whereabouts in Carter County is it?
Well, it's about 4 miles this side of Grayson. You know where Grayson's at?
Yeah.
Well, it's about 4 miles, maybe a little more than that. I don't know exactly.
Is it close to Highway 60?
Yeah. I forget the place where you turn off. There's a church house there. You turn off where that church house, on the left side of the road, on the left-hand forward, and that takes you to Evans Street. And there's a big cemetery there.
Well, Grandpa King was buried up there around,
He buried there, they call it the King Graveyard, where my family is all buried.
do you remember your grandpa on Grandpa King's side?
I've seen him one time when I was a little kid. I can remember seeing him, and that's all. But I can remember my grandmother, she come to see us often. She drive a horse from back there on Evans Street and come out there where we live in the country.
Right at Lewis County line?
Yeah.
You mean she rode a horse all the way from over close to Grayson?
A lot of times she rode the horse and come, she stayed 4 or 5 days when she come.
That's a long ways, riding a horse,
Yeah,
wasn't
a long ways.
They said,
25 or 30 miles.
it? Yeah.
"That's a lot."
Hi, Grandma.
She's getting all that down, Mama.
Why, sure. Have to get a big smile on Grandma's face.
You know, I didn't have any idea if they'd find the old family Bible, but they did. On Bishop Paddock, that's the one that my agent wrote down in
Oh, she ought to put it on
years ago.
It's done very good.
Now you know how old you are at least, huh?
You ought to put it on tape about Gladys and Van.
Boy, now there's a story, huh?
That's the story. That's one of these days we'll be telling, I hope. On all these other lights right here. In that,
Yeah.
I think it look better with that old.
And you got her undressing. Here, hold your arm out, Mamo.
Had that little slap the snot out of you.
Now, isn't that a nice thing to say on camera?
hello there, how you do?
Raise up in there, Mamo.
Now,
Get a picture of Grandma undressing.
Uh-oh. This is not an X-rated film, Grandma.
You what?
This is not an X-rated film.
Wave at her. Wave at her, Mamo.
Okay.
Wave at her.
This is hello.
I'm just sitting around enjoying Mama's
Tell her
company.
how old you'll be this year, Grandma.
She did.
Did you tell her how old you'll be?
Yes, you did,
91?
Grandma. We talked
I
about...
haven't told her, but she said I am. I'll be 91 in July.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, remember?
Yeah. We might. You know, I don't remember too good.
Well, it's not necessarily the age, Grandma. I forget things all the time.
Are you looking at me?
No.
I'm sure enjoying my Mama.
Oh, where'd Mindy go?
Getting to sit and talk with her.
I bet. Mindy? Great Grandma wants you.
Mandy, you come take a picture of your mommy over there with Grandma.
You know how to do it?
Yes.
We'll go over there by Grandma. Grandma wants you for something.
She wants you to
You could.
Say cheese.
cheese.
It's so quiet all of a sudden. Doesn't get that quiet around here
Y'all
very
can talk,
often,
Mama,
Grandma.
and you can hear it on that. Talk so you can hear it on that when they show it. It'll be the talking on there.
I don't know what to talk about.
You got your picture taken with Grandma?
Huh?
Go on over there, Adam, honey.
Go over there and get in a picture. And
Why,
get on
sure.
Grandma's.
There's always room for one more. There you go.
Stand up there.
There you
I
go.
can't understand what they're saying.
Well, you ain't got your hearing aids in, and
No, I ain't got them in.
We're just mumbling,
But
Grandma.
all day I could hear, but now I can't understand that.
you probably.
I can hear from my
Probably
mouth,
because
but I can't
everybody's
understand
talking
what
at
they
one
say.
time.
Yeah.
That's a usual thing around here.
Mindy,
Say
go get-
cheese,
go get-
everybody.
go get-
Cheese.
Go get the camera so your mom can do it.
I don't get the camera.
Let your mom get back.
If you don't have bad bones. But a while ago when I was taking your picture in the kitchen, it was hurting my shoulder. But not normally. It's not heavy. It's just heavy to me. And we've got a tripod that we put it on. Like when we're having a party or something, we put it on a tripod that holds it, so that we don't have to hold it. We can just set it on
What's
there.
the name of the three students?
Curly.
Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Oh, well, I already kicked Curly and Mo.
No.
Yeah, we got all three of them standing beside the chair there.
Ask Mama what that song was she was singing earlier here a while ago.
Was you singing a song?
Huh?
Were you singing a song earlier?
I still didn't hear what
Were you singing a song earlier?
I was, yeah, earlier.
Well, sing another one.
Ask her what it was.
What was it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Mm-mm.
What was it?
What would you give in exchange for your soul?
Yeah.
Well, sing it again.
Okay.
Sing it out
My
loud.
best grandma and my best sister.
There's a fire from the Savior today, risking your soul for things that decay. If today God should call you away, then what would you give in exchange for your soul? Mercy is calling, won't you give heed? Risk not your soul, it is precious indeed. While the dear Savior tenderly plead, what would you give for exchange of your soul? What would you give in exchange? What would you give in exchange for your soul? If today God you call you away, then what would you give in exchange for your soul?
Very good. Look at the camera at Trenda.
Hi,
Say
cheese.
Adam. Very good, Grandma.
Well,
She can keep pretty good, don't she?
I can still squeal.
Look at all those pretty gold teeth. That's good, Grandma.
I don't know many songs that I can sing by heart like that, but I can sing a few songs.
Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty good to me.
When I was about Adam's age, me and Mama used to sit on the front porch and you'd hear us all over Clark Hill.
Have a jam session,
And
huh?
we would sing hour on hour.
You're not supposed to.
Every old song that we knew.
But I can't see now to read to sing, so I just have to sing something that I already know.
Well, it sounded good to me, Grandma. Real good.
Click. Don't do that. Don't do that. You make the picture all blurry. Here we have Mr. Adam Harvey on the keyboard playing Heart and Soul, accompanied by Miss Mindy Imhausen. How old are you, Mr. Harvey?
9 now.
And Miss Imhausen is 13?
I'm not singing.
Boy, this is great talent for such a young age. Go right ahead.
Yeah, we're good.
Applause, applause.
Ain't no bulb in there. Joe, will you get a bulb? Whatever it is.
Ta-da! Give him a hand, Trenda. Yay! Yay! Encore. Very good, Adam.
Are of some neighbors,
But found they too were rank strangers to me. Everybody I met seemed to be a rank stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see.
That'll be good.
I looked all around, but I never could find them. I found they were all rank strangers to me. They've all moved away, said a voice of a stranger, to a beautiful land by the bright crystal sea. Someday I will go and meet them in heaven, where no one will be a stranger to me.
that's the end of that.
That's the end of that one, huh?
Okay, you want to sing Let Her Rich and Black Mommy?
I said I might could sing it. It's the only one I know.
Is it in there?
Yeah. It's in here, but I don't know where. It might take me half an hour to find it.
You don't remember how it goes by heart?
Not exactly, no. Well, shoot.
Well, let me find it for you, Mamo. It's got an index in the back of the book here.
Standing by my window, one cold
And cloudy day.
yesterday morning. This ain't like it is in my book.
Okay, well,
I was standing by my window yesterday morning with.
no, that's a different song, Mamo. We're singing it in the wrong tune. It goes like this.
They could have went to
I
the
was
grocery
standing by my window yesterday morning without a thought of sorrow or a care. When I saw the postman coming up the pathway with such a happy face and jolly air, he rang the bell and whistled as he waited, and then he said, "Good morning to you, Jack." But he little knew the sorrow that he brought me when he handed me a letter edged in black. That just ain't my with trembling hands I took the letter from him. I broke the seal and this is what it read. Come home, my boy, your dear old father wants you. Come home, my boy, your dear old mother's dead. The last word that your mother ever uttered was, tell my boy I want him to come back. My eyes are blurred, my poor old heart is breaking, as I'm writing you this letter edged in black. I bowed my head in sorrow and in silence. The sunshine for me all has fled, since the postman brought that letter yesterday morning, saying, come home, my boy, your dear old mother's dead. The angry words I wish I'd never spoken. You know I did not mean them, don't you, Jack? May the angels bear me witness, I am asking. Your forgiveness in this letter etched in black.
Ta-da!
Me, when the road was
We're blooming.
I'll have to get the, I'll have to let, how did that, I can't sing.
Now,
Please don't do that.
don't you want to say hi to me?
Hi.
Now, what if something happened to you? I would have all these.
I'll tell you hi if you turn that camera on.
Okay, tell me hi.
Hi. Now turn it off. Come on, I don't want to.
Oh, poor baby.
And take that clothes off.
Only the good die young, honey.
I hear you.
That's what they say, right?
Yep. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay, start out now, Mama.
It is in the early month of June, when all things were blooming. Sweet William on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen. He sent his servant to the town where Barbara was a dwelling. My master sick and sent for you, if your name be Barbara Allen. And death is painted on his face, and sky is, that ain't like I always heard it. I can't, that ain't the same song.
Well, we got a good chorus of it anyway, didn't we, Grandma?
If your name be Barbara Allen.
It's in the merry month of May, when old buds were blooming.
Sweet
William on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen. He sent his servant to the town where she was dwelling. My master, sir, has sent me for you, if your name be Barbara Allen.
Very good, Grandma.
That just ain't.
She used to know every word of that
Yeah.
song. Dad used to get her to sing them.
Well, it sounds good to me, Grandma.
She'd
You
sit
know,
and sing.
I forgot a lot of
Anyway, there's a
songs.
whole big rigmarole to that song. Sweet William on his deathbed lay, for the love of Barbara Allen. And anyway, when they died, a briar grew on
Get
his
Mom!
grave.
Get Mom!
Josephine?
Hi, Ma. You think you can run from the
Open your mouth now.
Say cheese, please. Oh, mercy.
Okay, you wasting your film, dummy.
I'm wasting my film, dummy.
Yes.
I got lots of film, Mom. This thing will go for 6 hours.
Tell her not in a few years it won't be wasted.
Mommy, I know
No.
where
Mommy, come down to take my picture. Come down to Grandma's.
in
Now
a
get outta
faraway
here.
country village stood a maple on the hill. There I sat with my Geneva long ago. As the stars were shining brightly, we could hear that whippoorwill as we sat beneath the maple on the hill. Don't forget me, little darling, when they lay me down to rest. Just one little tip of roses here I crave, and I'll soon be with the angel on that bright and happy shore, as we sat beneath the maple on the hill.
Yay.
Mama, do you know if I should be living?
What?
If I should be living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
If I could be living when Jesus comes and know
the
Day and the hour.
I'd like to be standing by Mother's tomb when Jesus comes in his power. I'd like to say, Mother, this is your boy. You left when you went away. And now, dear Mother, it gives me great joy to see you again today. Would be a wonderful happy day.
up there on the golden strand. When I can hear Jesus, my Savior, say, shake hands with Mother again. I'd like to say, Mother, this is your boy you left when you went away. And now, my dear Mother, it gives me great joy to see you again today. Would be a wonderful happy day up there on the golden strand. When I can hear Jesus, my Savior, say, shake hands with Mother again.
Very good, you guys.
That song.
You know some song.
I picked a stick up off the ground, knocked that there door down.
She fell down on her bended
Knees
knees,
for mercy she did cry.
Oh, Willie dear, don't kill me here, I'm not prepared to die. She never spoke another word, I only beat her more. Until the ground around me with her blood did flow. I took her by her golden curls and dragged her round and round. Then threw her in the river that flows through Knoxville town. Go down, you Knoxville girl, with your dark and rolling eyes. Go down, you Knoxville girl, you could never be my wife. I rolled and tumbled the whole night through, my dreams were living hell, until they came from Knoxville and carried me to jail. I'm here to waste my life away, and time is passing slow. Because I killed that Knoxville girl, little girl that I love so. Ta-da! I can hear that. I can hear that on the camera.
Oh,
You went
yes,
back
I
home
did
now at 9 o'clock and wake these aged mothers wake all up in fright. And son, oh son, what have you done? There's blood stain on your clothes. But the answer I give her, I've been bleeding at the nose. And it went on to bed.
What's
you
this?
mean in that Knoxville girl song?
Yeah, that's the same song.
I never did hear that part.
Remember that song, The Midnight Is Past, that me and you used to sing all the time?
Midnight is past, this morning at last no longer, and
Wait a minute.
sin I bow.
Wait a minute, Dad.
I'm happy and whole.
There's peace in my soul. I'm living the right life now.
Oh,
Glory to God, I'm washed in His blood. His love light is on my brow.
I'm happy and whole.
There's peace in my soul. I'm living the right life now. Ta-da!
You sing that all the time.
Turn it off. Mom, turn it off.
Hey.
Comes and know the day and the hour. I'd like to be standing by Mother's tomb The world's greatest men was searching hard then for the things that had never been before. When the Lord held out his mighty hand so that others in the world might understand that war should never be and this world must be free. When they found the mighty, mighty atomic
Dad's singing too loud.
I thought he was singing kind of low.
Loud.
Dad, I don't know the words to that song. I'm sitting here going, off, and
You get in on the picture.
that's all I'm doing. I'm going to be like one of them Japanese music movies.
When Jesus comes and can know the day and the hour, I'd like to be standing by my virgin when Jesus comes in his power.
Very good, Grandma.
Would be a wonderful happy day up there on the golden strand when I can hear Jesus, my Savior, say, shake hands with Mother again. I'd like to say, Mother, this is your boy. You laughed when you went away. And now, dear Mother, it gives me great joy to see you again today. Will be a wonderful happy day up there on the golden strand.
I can see Jesus upon his throne and that bright city so far. There'll be more sorrow.
That's all right, Miss.
Oh, don't take me, Billy, please. Tower, don't go back in there, you monkey bunk. Come on, take them. I'm just singing. I'm singing in the background. We gotta go to the background.
He sings real deep. I said, I'm a soprano.
You're a nerd.
It's morning at last.
Midnight.
It's midnight at last.
It's morning.
What is that to go?
Oh no, I can't.
No longer in sin I vow.
The Barker off tune.
I'm happy
And older.
deep in my soul. I'm living the right life now.
I think we ought to get in something we know.
Oh, glory to God.
I'm watching.
We have to report this is just a practice.
On my brow.
I think we ought to get in tune, don't you?
happy
And oh, there's peace in my soul. I'm living the right life now. I think we ought to get in tune. I think so. We got some really wild.
I think you ought to get some new singers.
I need to take my shoes off.
Take
We
your
know-
shoes off
we
and
know
you can
something.
sing better.
Yeah, I gotta let my toes free.
No. Mom, there's a flashing E on the camera.
Irish if you can
Learn to love me.
I will run away with you. I don't want to turn back out. I don't want your watch or chain. All I want is you, my darling. Won't you take me back again? Mama said we could not marry. Papa said it never do.
What's the matter, Trenda?
If you ever learn to love me, you take me back again.
Come on.
I don't want your greenback dollar. I don't want your watching chain. All I want Mama said we cannot marry. Mama said it never do. But if you ever learn to love me, I will run.
Yay! Very good, you guys.
Did that sound like a greenback dollar? Or
Yeah.
just a handful of change
There's
around?
a few more irks in our voices than there used to be many moons ago. But
Well.
it sounded pretty good, Pa.